Hello, and welcome back to Level. Today we're going to talk about groups and how they impact organization as well as permissions. So here we have the three agents that we installed in a previous video. And first thing actually I want to do while I'm here is I want to rename these so these are a little more useful for me. So let's rename this one we'll just call this Tech Mac since this is a Mac. And this is a Linux device. We'll just call this Tech 01. We'll just pretend that this is really meaningful for us. And let's say that this Windows device here, and by the way, let me just show that we can also rename if I click on the agent name, and I can come in here and choose from the drop-down rename, and we'll call this HR01. One thing I also want to point out here is that from home, this is in ungrouped devices. And if I come back here, we can see that we have some global options here, and one of these is ungrouped devices. This is going to show us any agent that does not have a group. Now, right now, we don't have any groups, but let's create some. So let's make a group, and we'll call this one HR. And let's make another group here. And before I create this one thing to know about groups is they can be used in a lot of different ways. We could use them to delineate departments, like what I started to do here. We could also use these to designate something like a site. And then underneath that site, there could also be departments or subsites. So let's do that over here. I'll make another group and we'll just call this group South. And let me make a subgroup in here and we'll call this Engineering. And we could just make as many as we wanted. So let's make another one here and we'll call this Sales. All right. So now that we have some groups here, you'll see that I don't have any agents in this group or here. So we need to go all the way back up to the top, either to global, or I could do ungrouped devices. Now also because these agents were just recently installed, they will show up under new devices as well. But I'll go to global and let's move these around now. So let's first take HR and let's assign this to the HR group. And let's see, we have engineering and sales. Let's just move both of these to engineering. So I'm going to take the Tech Mac and the Tech 01 and can open this up and we'll say we're going to move you to engineering. All right, so the numbers also reflect this. So we see 2 agents in engineering, 1 agent in HR. You can really use these groups in any way that would make just finding devices easier, grouping like devices together. But one other thing I want to show is that groups also impact permissions. So let's say, for example, that we have a user, William Tell, and William should not have access to the HR agent or the HR group. What we can do is I'll go up to team and we'll see that right now William is in the tech role. I'm going to choose this other option here for permissions, and I can see here's the tech role. The tech role right now is open to everything, but I don't want to touch the default tech role. I'm going to actually create a new one, and we'll call this engineering. Okay, so now we're on the engineering, and first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to uncheck HR. And so now whoever's in this engineering role will not be able to see the HR folder. We also have the South option here. Now let's say that I didn't want necessarily to give this engineering role the ability to choose sales. Then I can do that here. Now you might be asking, what is this little green icon with these arrows pointing at each other? The idea here is that in the future, if I make a new group, that if it's a subgroup of engineering or a subgroup of South, then this role of engineering will automatically have permissions for that. That's maybe not what I want. So let me uncheck here on South, but I'm going to leave it here on engineering. I'll show you what this looks like. So let's go back over to devices, and I'm going to make a new subgroup under South, and we'll call this admin. But under engineering, I'm going to do the same thing, and we'll call this technicians. And so now if we go back to team and permissions, and we look at the engineering, we will see that the permission for engineering is propagated through, but the new one for admin, he does not have permissions on that. And so now let's go over here to users, and the last part of this puzzle is we need to change the role for William Tell to engineering. So now the next time William logs in, He will not see the HR group nor any agents in HR, and he will not see admin or sales, but he will see engineering and technicians. And so this allows you to discreetly choose which users have which permissions. Well, that's all we have for you today. Hope this was informative for you, and we'd like to invite you to view some of our other videos in our library. Thank you so much.